Welcome, Asade. So we just began. We were waiting for people to connect, and now the meeting is being recorded. So I'm gonna share my screen and begin this webinar that, as everyone knows, is access to funding using AI. I hope that it's gonna be entertaining for many people. Ariana is also connecting, and I will begin now, as I said, sharing my screen. So allow me to share my screen from the beginning. There we are, and there we are. Okay, so we begin with this webinar about access to funding from the project Empowering Young Entrepreneurs with AI. We wanted to have for you a practical guide to navigate grants, but also equity-free opportunities and other tools. My name is Rita Anson, and today I will explore how young entrepreneurs use both traditional funding opportunities, but also use artificial intelligence to secure funding more effectively. I'm representing the partner YYouth. We are the partner from Norway, so I hope that you will enjoy this presentation. Very good. Sorry, but I'm admitting people that's arriving now. So this is what we are going to see today. And I want to tell you what you will learn, and also important to understand that one of the biggest challenges that entrepreneurs are facing these days is not necessarily having a great idea, but knowing how to finance it. In my experience, many founders spend months just to search for grants, preparing applications, building pitch decks, and contacting investors. But AI is changing that process dramatically. Me, myself, as a part of YYouth, I'm also part of the investment ecosystem, and we are seeing this every day. So today, I want to show you how to understand your funding needs, how to identify right funding sources using AI tools to save time while you build investor readiness, and you can position yourself for success. So this session is intended to be practical. So I encourage you to think about your own venture as we go through each section. And by the end of today, you should be able to do 5 things. First, you will be able to assess probably your funding needs, since many founders immediately start, looking for money without first understanding how much they need and why. Second, you should be able to identify also that not every startup should seek for venture capital, but instead that sometimes grants, competitions, or partnerships are better options. The third thing that you should be able to do after we finish today is that, since we are going to discuss tools that are going to help entrepreneurs with business planning, grant writing, investor research, and financial forecasting, you should have, let's say, a good amount of these tools. And fourth, with the session today, we want you to be more prepared to build investor readiness, because investors invest in prepared founders, meaning that if you pitch with confidence, funding is, sorry, because I clicked something. Funding is the way for you probably to move forward. And the way that you are going to get that funding, convincing someone with your vision, is going to maybe and hopefully convert it in support. So I don't know how many of you have applied already to funding, how many of you have been rejected, and if you have experienced a rejection, welcome, because entrepreneurship happens to everyone. So yeah, let's move on. Very good. So let's start with the most important question. How much money do you actually need? Many founders answer as much as possible, but this is not the right answer. Investors and grant evaluators want to see that you understand your numbers. So you need to think about 4 categories: product development, marketing and customer acquisition, and also operations. Meaning that, and here I think that is more like a self-questionnaire for every one of you, is that you need to ask yourself how much your money will last. To understand funding needs and financial planning, there is some tools like here we are showing to you. Track your cash flow always. Understand the revenue, profit, and operating expenses that you have to understand how much capital do you need. And also keep the records, because it's very important that your initial funding requirement is the one that you need. And as I was saying here, explore options, because not only investment is the only option that you have, but also there is other ones like loans, grants, and crowdfunding that gives to you a different level of control and flexibility. So my suggestion is create a 12-month cash flow maybe, and then if you are a startup, for example, let's say an educational technology startup that is expecting, I'm inventing 100 paid users in 6 months, this is going to give you a draft of how your funding needs to be. So keep thinking about it. So moving on, we know that there is no perfect funding source, but every one has advantages and disadvantages. So let's look here at 4 major categories. As you see here, we have grants that sometimes are wonderful because, of course, they don't require payment or repayment. And some examples, of course, are projects as Erasmus+, is this project, Horizon Europe. Your National Innovation Agency sometimes have also grants that can be useful. Even locally, your municipalities have programs that have that grants. What is the downside of the grants? The downside is that your application needs to be super competitive, and sometimes it's very time consuming because you really need to know how to write, how to explain to the evaluator that you deserve, your company has to have that money. Another one, as you see here in the slide, is loans and microfinance. These are very useful because the cash flow is very predictable. The advantage here is that you keep ownership. The disadvantage is that you must repay, contrary with what grants are. Then there is another category that is angel investors and venture capital. So these investors provide you money, but remember that they can provide you also expertise. But they want to receive equity, meaning that you need to share your shares in the company with them. If you can find a way to effectively selling that part of your company, angel investors and venture capital could be good for you. And last but not least, crowdfunding. Okay, for example, that is a peer-to-peer platform, like for example, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or others that can provide funding while validating your product. Why? Because when you initiate a crowdfunding campaign, what you are doing is validating also the market demand. So people, when they engage with the crowdfunding campaign, they are not giving money just, they are proving that they want your product. So there is a two ways interest there. But as we said in the end of this slide, the smartest way to do this is to choose the right mix, meaning that, of course, the best is to combine multiple funding sources. For example, grants, angel investment, and strategic partnership, for example, or others. The important here is that the combination creates a stronger funding structure rather than relying in only one source alone. Okay, all right. By the way, interrupt me anytime if you want to make questions, but we will set time afterwards also to questions or comments from your side, because I would love to hear from you if you want. So if we move on, let's talk about equity-free funding. in the shape of competitions, fellowships, and challenge. So many young entrepreneurs think that funding equals investors, but it's not like this. Some of the best opportunities, as we already said before with the grants, are equity free. This means that with these ones that we are listing here, you are going to find a way to have an equity free investment or money for your company, meaning that you are not going to be obligated to give shares in compensation. So what means this equity free funding? That you don't have a debt, it's not a loan, you don't have equity loss, as we already said, with the shares, and you don't need repayment, as with the loans either. So some of the examples that we have here: pitch competitions, innovation challenges, university entrepreneurship programs, corporate innovation initiatives, fellowships, youth entrepreneurship awards. There is many of these that many founders underestimate. I know some startups that they raise their first, I don't know, 10,000 euro or less even through competitions and innovation prizes. And this, beyond the money, these competitions provide visibility, credibility, mentors sometimes, and maybe future investors. Because the exposure that you get participating in these pitch competitions or innovation challenges is worth more than the prize itself. So as entrepreneurs, I always encourage people that is around us in our ecosystem to monitor these opportunities. I always get also the question of how to monitor these opportunities, but of course this is a let's say, homework that everyone needs to do when it comes to be active, both in the ecosystem with networking, but not only, also with AI tools, finding through the social media channels. Sometimes LinkedIn is a very good source for finding this type of equity-free funding opportunities. So make up your mind and try to see if you can make for yourself a plan in which you can get information of each of them. Of course, every local environment is different, and there is also global contests, but don't overlook them, because sometimes a trip somewhere is worth it because of the exposure of your company. All right, so moving on, we want to tell you how to win a pitch or innovation challenge. And I have seen many of them. So let's discuss now what judges actually want. Let's think also that the judge in some way sometimes is like an investor, because some of them, they are going to be able to invest finally on you. So when you are pitching, when you are presenting your business strategy, many founders focus on features, on what is the product and what is the service. But remember that sometimes the judges focus also on impact, how your product or service is going to be something that is going to have inclusion, that is going to have tech for good, and is going to comply with the SDGs. And therefore, the formula is quite simple. So first of all, align with the challenge. If the competition focuses on sustainability, show sustainability. If it focuses in youth employment, there you must go. Emphasize that. And second, and very, very important, show a real problem. And this serves both for pitching an innovation challenge or pitching for an investor, or even to write an application, because judges, investors, or grant evaluators fund painkillers, not vitamins sometimes. So something that is really solving, and that the problem solution impact case could be demonstrated with traction. And what is traction here? So what you need to show is that evidence matters, that you have, or you can have users, and you can have customers, you can have pilots, and you can have maybe partnerships. So in order to do that, to show all these things, or to show how you will do it, try always to use visual pitch decks. And for that, you can use, of course, AI tools, AI-powered pitch.com, Canva, and many other. But remember, when you use that AI tools, the prompts needs to be very clear when it comes to how to use the visuals in order to keep the slides clean as much as possible. So less text, more storytelling. Use yourself. You are not AI. So you need to use yourself, even if you have used AI to create a pitch, to storytell what is your business idea. And finally, you need to master your founder story. People invest in people most of the time. And judges in innovation challenges have you in front. So you should be able to explain who you are, why this problem matters, and why now. Why now is the moment in which you should have an award in the innovation challenge and get a prize, or why you should have a positive evaluation in a grant, or why now you should have an investment. So my advice here is that you should always be ready with a 60-second founder story in order that when you are going to do the pitch, that normally in this type of stages is around 3 minutes, you can have that time at least to tell your story, because then your vision is going to become stronger. So, as we say here, AI tools, of course, to find the innovation challenges, but also to prepare your market insights and your forecast, and of course, to prepare your pitch deck or your presentation. So, in our website, you are going to find a lot of these tools also in all the materials that we have created. So, feel free to use it. So let's move on with one more thing now. That is how to use AI for financial tools and decision making. And here is where entrepreneurs can gain a significant advantage, and also something that before needed a lot of effort. Now AI can support it. So talking about this, what AI can support? Can support research, can support grant identification, market analysis, financial planning, as we were saying, investor discovery, pitch preparation. So a lot of things that we name already. Imagine, for example, spending 2 days researching grant opportunities, or even, or better, using AI, because some useful applications like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and others include that. For example, ChatGPT include a lot of business planning or drafting. Claude, that I guess many of you know already, include a lot of long document analysis. Use Perplexity for research and fact-finding. And even if you have a large amount of information, depending on your business, there is a tool named is Notebook KLM that is very useful for that, together with Life Plan also for business planning. But remember always that AI doesn't replace entrepreneurs. AI amplifies entrepreneurs. Remember that everything that we are saying here is what I said before. People invest in people. So whatever you use, any of these tools for any of the decision making that we are commenting, you need to learn how to work alongside AI to move faster than competitors, but to be on the center of what your business is. The last part of this slide talks about investor relations. As a person that works in that ecosystem myself, I would say that some investors are using AI-driven pitch deck analysis. But the reality is that in very early stage startups, we try not to use them, because it's very important how the person uses the storytelling that we were commenting before. So even if you will see, for example, Dealroom or other tools that use AI for investor matching, the reality is that the one-to-one will never substitute AI. As we are saying here, amplifies, but not replace in a way. All right, so let's go a little bit with strategies for securing funding. And here you can see this graphic that we have prepared in order that we can combine everything. So a practical funding strategy for you should be beginning with build your business plan. And for that, as we said before, there are some tools, for example, like Plan AI. Second, you probably use AI to improve the final projections, not to invent them, but to improve them. Then maybe you want to identify grants and competitions. So once you have all that, the business plan, also the financial projections, and you have identified grants, competitions, or investors, you will be direct to develop a pitch deck. As we said before, many apps in this moment or many AI tools are helping to do that. But independently from your pitch, there is something else also that you want to have, and is building an investor list. So in order to build that investor list and knowing also where that investors are, to start the conversations early, and this is something that is also very important and is very human side, you need to have that list of investors, especially because once you will have your pitch, investors want to hear you, want real data, want pitch decks, but avoid very crowded or even very tech pitch decks, because not all investors are, let's say, experts in every industry. The most important here is that many founders make the mistake of contacting investors when they need the money. Need meaning need, like really need. And the thing is that the opposite. You need to first prepare the strategy for securing your funding, and don't wait until you need the money. You need to start the conversations early. You need to focus on conducting them, to build a relation before that. So think always that investors invest in trust. So whatever you are building or preparing for them with AI needs to be enough good, but at the same time enough real, because trust takes time. And also when trust is not respected, you maybe are gonna lose not only one opportunity, but many others that come afterwards. All right, so some people ask me sometimes how to build partnerships to unlock funding. And the thing is that funding doesn't always come from money. Sometimes come from partnerships, because partnerships can provide you not only the money, but also customers, technology, distribution, expertise, visibility, credibility, a lot of things. So you need to think strategically and then ask yourself, who already serves in your target market, who has resources that you may need, who shares similar goals. And once you have identified or answered yourself to that alone or using AI tools, AI can help a lot to identify potential partners. But remember that the relationship remains always human, because technology is going to open doors for you. So going to partnership types, we have tried here in this slide to say some of them: collaborations, sponsorships, co-financing. And these three can be individually, meaning that maybe you find a partner that is only a collaboration, but maybe a partner is a collaboration, a sponsorship, and co-financing. So think about also, as we were saying in the slide before, on how to do the right mix for this. Using AI for this, as we were saying before, for connecting maybe with grants or other sources of fund, identify partners via LinkedIn, use B2B platforms and networking events. Also because some of that networking event have B2B platforms inside of the event, and there with AI you are going to be able to get out a lot of information on partners. But once you have done that, in order to build a strategic partnership, try to use AI to bring in every conversation what is your value exchange, what you offer, and what is the need. This is something important. Another tool or another, let's say, tool that you can use to build in strategic partnerships is to have a memorandum of understanding that is a simple document agreement in which you are going to establish the alliance that you are building with that possible partner. You can use AI tools also for building memorandum of understanding using some previous models and adapting it to your own company. So summarizing here, if your credibility is enough, partners are going to take you seriously. And even if you are early stage, you are going to be able, with the human perspective, but also with the AI tools, to create opportunities, to open that doors and to build that relationships that in the end will bring you this funding unlocking that we are presenting here. Yes, so I think that with this more or less is what we wanted to present you today. So summarizing, if you should remember only 4 things or 5 or whatever from today, remember this. Plan before you raise. Financial planning and accurate records are the foundation of every funding application. Funding meaning, as we said, grants, funding meaning investor, funding meaning loan, or even crowdfunding. Understand your numbers. Why? Because sometimes you are presenting your company, and I have been in some of that situations, and the entrepreneur not understanding the numbers is presenting and cannot explain well. If you are alone in the company and you need to present the numbers, use another person, maybe an advisor, maybe someone that is cooperating with you to do that. Because if you are presenting a financial plan or a forecast and you are not able to understand yourself or to present the numbers, it's going to be a killing for the trust with the investor or the grant evaluator that you have in front of you. Second thing that you should remember from today is the equity-free funding. Equity-free is super powerful. It gives you the possibility to not giving away the ownership of your company. Use AI to identify grants, competitions, fellowships, and so on. AI is going to be a productivity multiplier for you when it comes to that. And build a strategic partnerships. That is the last slide that we were looking at. Find companies or other entrepreneurs that are going to bring you funding, but also networks that you cannot access alone. Sometimes entrepreneurs come to me saying that partnerships with big corporates are scary because they are worried about the fact that they can steal from them some of the ideas, but sometimes it's a win-win relationship. So think about it. And I'm saying corporates, but sometimes it doesn't need to be a small entrepreneur and a corporate. It can be two, like solo entrepreneurs that are doing a strategic partnership. So try to prepare it with a memorandum of understanding in a way that you can use that and you can think about what we are saying whole time. Funding is not about capital. It's about building relationships, credibility, and momentum that will allow your venture growth. So by using AI to enhance every step that we have been through this presentation, we think that you are going to be in a powerful position. And with this, I'm going to thank you everyone for your attention. I'm gonna stop sharing because I want to see you. And also I'm gonna take a screenshot of all of us, even if you don't have the cameras on, except someone. Hi, Jing. Yeah, if you have your cameras on, I can do a better screenshot, and then we are all smiling, smiling, smiling. There we are. So, questions and answers and
Yes.
comments. Jing has a lot. Jing is from Norway, guys. Just that you know, she's part of our ecosystem. So it's a pleasure to have her here, especially because Jing, some of you know her already, is creating a specific AI for women initiative. So, Jing, tell me.
Yes, I wanted to ask the questions actually when you mentioned about funding, it's about the building relationships. And the last part you mentioned about the building the partnerships, not only with the corporates, but also social like solo entrepreneur or other things. This is something interesting, and I never thought about that. But I'm just want to know in the practical how that would be look like. For example, I have one person company, there is another one person company, and we actually team up to apply for the funding together, like a competition challenge, or actually are we team up to funding the customer together? How this approach, and also from customer to say, you are a single person, single company, and when you're standing together, that's also from customer perspective, they would ask, who I'm going to sign contract with, and how this practical. So from your side, what do you see about this type of situations?
Yeah, well, here we were talking about partnerships and funding, meaning that, as you were saying, the fact that you are partnering with someone is going to unlock you funding. The first example that you gave is the most common, and both of us, we have been on that is partnering with another entrepreneur in order to apply together in a consortium for a funding. And that is simple. But when we are talking more about the go-to-market strategy, I think that if you can find a partnership with a right MOU to, as we said, save a little bit your confidentiality and the conditions in which the partnership will go out. Sometimes investors invest in a company only if there is a partnership already with some other company that is providing a part that you cannot provide yourself. And in this case, when it comes to solo entrepreneurs, it happens. You are maybe a super expert in the tech part, but you need a more expert in the business development. And then you do this partnership, you go together, even if the funding is coming to your company, then you have this MOU in which the other person that is partnering with you is going to access also that funding in the shape of delivering tasks or being paid for some staff tasks in general. Another type of partnering, because you were asking different ways to do that, is that you are a solo entrepreneur and then you find a bigger company. Doesn't need to be a corporate, but could be a medium company in which, again, you do an entrepreneurial exchange in a way that some of the services that you deliver to this company are going to help the bigger company maybe to get invested or to get a loan or something like this. Even imagine in the crowdfunding campaigns, how much powerful maybe your initiative could be if you can partner with an organization in which female is the center. For the ones that don't know, Jing has an organization that is Women in AI Global. And yesterday we were together at the event of Professional Women Network Norway. So this is a perfect example. Going together in order to get maybe to go to a foundation to get funding or even to a crowdfunding campaign in which your followers in the crowdfunding campaign are going to see that you guys are both on the same mission. So this is also important. But remember, always the MOU, it's important. It's not it's the main thing, but it should be.
Yeah, you actually pointed out something I want to ask in the next question in the crowdfunding, because I have been also looking into the crowdfunding, and there's several different platforms to look into the crowdfunding, but I'm just not so sure that how in the practical life, how this crowdfunding look like? Am I just go to those crowdfunding and telling this is what I want to do, this is my mission, I'm looking for this type of money? Or is there any other better way, like those platform, or from your perspective, how to do this?
Yeah, well, actually, this is a totally different presentation. But yeah, we could go a little bit through crowdfunding if the rest agree. So the type of platform and crowdfunding campaign that you need to choose depends very much on the type of business that you have. Meaning that when you choose to have a crowdfunding campaign, in this case, you need to think what the crowdfunding looks like, meaning why people is going to give you money. And when I'm saying why people is going to give you money for, what I mean is that maybe sometimes people is going to give you money to fund your growth, but sometimes there are some crowdfunding companies that what they provide in a way is that you can give them something back. For example, there are some crowdfunding campaigns in which the people follows you and then they subscribe to your company, and then what you give back to them maybe is a gadget from your company, and sometimes maybe it's a free subscription, and sometimes it's a discount. So you need to see first which platform allows that, depending on what you want to give back. How it works is very easy. You just register in the crowdfunding campaign or in the crowdfunding platform. You follow the instructions. You follow also, let's say, the conditions. And this is very important because some of these crowdfunding campaigns have a cut in what you are going to raise in general. And don't forget also when you are doing a crowdfunding campaign that one of the most important parts is the graphic design and the advertising. And this is an effort that some entrepreneurs, they don't think is important, but the reality is that when you are creating the advertising campaign for the fundraising, the crowdfunding platform is going to serve you not only for the crowdfunding platform itself, but also afterwards for your own marketing of the company. So this is something that is important. Also, as I was saying, it depends a lot also if you have a creative project, because you are going to raise maybe capital from a large number of individuals that are going to be following you. So you are going to validate and attract customers already at the same time that you are securing funding. So sometimes maybe the small amounts that individuals contribute with in crowdfunding platforms are not as significant sum as what you get back, So yeah, then there is other crowdfunding campaigns that are equity. I mean, your backers receive shares in your company instead of rewards. So this also exists. But I don't think that, I mean, in small companies or in organizations like yours or others, I think that supporters could better donate money, not as a charitable project, but as a tech for good, And
Yeah, this is what I was going to follow up. The question is, what's the
Mm.
difference between the crowdfunding and also donations? Because in a way, it's like, now it's a bit, what can we give when it's crowdfunding? We are NGO, we don't
Yeah.
have shares,
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Yeah. So in this case, people contribute without expecting a return because it's a social impact project. It's not a charity. They want to contribute to social impact or to tech impact or whatever. In that case, sometimes you can give them exclusive perks, as I was saying before, if it's a consumer product, can be a gadget. If it's a service, can be a free subscription to the premium membership of what you are offering. Could be also that. It's like a democratizing in a way the funding process, from a wide community, something like this. But yeah, I mean, I think that's good. I mean, there is also debt crowdfunding if you want. That is a peer-to-peer lending. So basically, backers lend you money through the platform, and then there is a repayment plus interest because you cannot give away any equity. But I think that in your case, I don't know the cases of the rest, if they are listening or they want to share, but in your case, it's about building community.
Yes.
Very, very much. So maybe a campaign that include video with, engaging personal messages, with a vision maybe and the story behind what you have built with women in AI Global in Norway. So yeah, so I will produce video maybe, I mean, every one of us know when we are looking at LinkedIn, we get attracted by a good produced video, much better than any long text or static images. Yeah.
That's all. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. And actually, I found one opportunity here. It's like maybe there is an AI tool can actually track all the funding opportunities because right now it's all over the places.
Completely agree. I'm sure that you can, code in some way all these crowdfunding platforms, saying my solution is about impact-oriented organization that want to mobilize communities at the same time validating the needs with engaging women, and then you are going to have the most, let's say, the best approach of crowdfunding campaigns for you. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's a very good idea as a marketing push in a way.
Yes, super. Thanks a lot.
Very good. Thank you, Jing, for the questions. So, any other question, any other comment? Someone want to share which type of funding strategies are following? If not, you will be able to access, as I said, all the materials and the list of tools and the links in our website. We will like to have you in our next workshops that are going to happen in the next days. I think that every one of you have received already the invitation, and contact me. The ones that have not contacted me yet, I'm always happy to follow you up in this access to funding using AI from my expertise. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
See you very soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.